This is part 69 of JavaScript tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss if it's possible to store multiple key value pairs in a single cookie. Let's understand this with an example. Let's design a web page that looks like this. We want to capture name, email, and gender. Once we click set cookie, we want to store three name value pairs in a single cookie. So we want to store name equals Venkat, email equals goodvenkat@gmail.com, and gender equals male. All these three name value pairs should be stored in a single cookie. And when we click get cookie, we want to retrieve that cookie and display name, email, and gender. And once we click clear, we want to clear the three text boxes. So let's flip to Visual Studio. In the interest of time, I have already implemented the required HTML. So here we have the HTML tag. Inside that we have head and body, and within body we have an HTML table. This table has got 4 TRs. Within the first TR, we've got 2 TDs. The first TD contains the literal text name and then a text box for name. Okay. Similarly, the second TR has got 2 TDs, third TR has got 2 TDs, and the last TR has got only 1 TD. So within the last TD we have got, TR, we've got 3 buttons. So we have only 1 TD within that TR. That's the reason we have set column span to 2, and then we have those 3 buttons: set cookie, get cookie, and clear. I'll have this HTML available on my blog in case you need it. Now let's go ahead and include a section for script. And within the script section, let's include a function to set cookie. Let's create a variable. Let's name this cookieString equals. So now what we want to store in the cookie is 3 name value pairs. Name equals Venkat, email equals goodvenkat@gmail.com, gender equals male, all separated by semicolons. So name equals, and where are we going to get the name from? From the name text box. So document.getElementById, txtName is the ID of the text box, dot value should give us the value, and to that we want to append semicolon and then email equals, and we need to retrieve the email. So document.getElementById, email text box ID is txtEmail, and to that we want to append gender. Gender equals, we need to get gender from gender text box whose ID is txtGender. Alright, so this is going to construct a string with 3 key value pairs. Document.cookie equals the cookie string that we have dynamically built. So this function is going to set the cookie for us. Now let's write a function to get the cookie. Function, let's name it getCookie, and to read the cookie we use the cookie property of the document object, and let's simply alert whatever we get back to the web page using JavaScript alert function. And we also need another function, and the third function is to basically clear the text boxes. So let's name it clear text boxes. Document.getElementById, txtName dot value equals an empty string. Similarly, let's clear the other 2 text boxes. So email, and the other one is gender. And when we click these respective buttons, we want to call those respective functions. So on click of set cookie button, we want to call set cookie function. Similarly, on click of get cookie button, we want to call get cookie function, and on click of clear button we want to call this clear text boxes function. Alright, so let's go ahead and run the page in debug mode. Let's throw in a breakpoint in the setCookie function, and let's enter values for name, email, and gender. So now let's click set cookie. So it should call this function. Let's press F10. Look at what we have got in the cookie string. Name equals Venkat, semicolon, email equals goodvenkat@gmail.com, semicolon, gender equals male. So we've got 3 name value pairs, and we are setting that string which contains those 3 name value pairs as the cookie value. Okay, so we are storing that within the cookie. Let's press F5. Now let's click getCookie, but before that let's actually throw in a breakpoint in getCookie function and then click getCookie. So document.getElementById property, look at what it returns. It's actually returning only the first key value pair, name equals Venkat. Okay, that's basically because we are able to store only one key value pair in a single cookie. Now if you want to store 2 or more key value pairs, then you have 2 options. Create a custom object, serialize the object to a JSON string, and then store that serialized string in a cookie. And the other option is to obviously use a different cookie for each key value pair that you want to save. Okay, so let's look at the first option now. So let's modify this setCookie function. Let's create a custom object first, and this is going to be an empty object. And to this custom object we are going to add the properties that we need dynamically. So we need name property to store the name, and let's get the name from name text box. So txtName dot value, and similarly we need email and gender, and let's get the email from email text box, gender from gender text box. So we have the custom object. Now let's go ahead and create another variable, and I'm going to name this JSON string equals, I'm going to use a JSON method called stringify, and to this JSON method we're going to pass the custom object. So what is this JSON.stringify method going to do? This method is going to convert this JavaScript object to a JSON string. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Okay, so we get a JSON string back. Now we're going to set the cookie. So document.cookie equals, you can give any key that you want. Let's call this maybe cookie object. That's the key, equals, and the value is going to be whatever this JSON string contains. Okay, so here we are storing a single name value pair, but this value now contains, name equals whatever is the name, email equals whatever is the email, and gender equals whatever is gender. Okay, so this is going to store the cookie. Now let's change getCookie function as well. Document.cookie property should return us the cookie, and cookie contains name and value, and the separator is equal to. So we are going to split using that equal to as the separator. So what are we going to get back? We are going to get this key and the string, okay, the JSON string. So var, let's name this name value array. So this array is going to contain 2 strings. The first string is going to contain this, and the second string is going to contain the actual JSON string that we stored in the cookie. And I'm going to use another method now, JSON.parse, and to this parse method we're going to pass this JSON string, and that JSON string is present in this array, name value array, and that's present at index position 1. Okay, so what is this parse method is going to do? It's going to parse the JSON string and return the corresponding object back to us. So it's going to give us, a custom object back. And we know that the custom object has got name, email, and gender. We can retrieve the respective values using those properties of that custom object. So what we are going to get back here is actually a custom object, which is going to have those three properties. And all that is left now is to populate those three text boxes. So document.getElementById, we're getting the name text box, and the value of that one equals custom object dot name is the property. Similarly, let's do that for email and gender. So txt email and txtGender. Email equals email and gender equals gender. Alright, so with all these changes, let's go ahead and run the page in debug mode. And let's throw in a breakpoint in setCookie and getCookie functions. And let's enter values. Venkat, goodvenkat@gmail.com is the email, and male is gender. Gender is male. So we are creating a custom object, and then we are populating all those three. So this custom object now should have those three properties: email, gender, and name. And we are passing the custom object to the stringify method. Let's press F10 and look at what the string contains. Look at that. That's how a JSON string looks like. Okay, so name : Venkat, email : goodvenkat@gmail, gender : male. Okay, and we are storing that JSON string within the cookie. So F10, if you look at the cookie property now, look at that. Within this cookie, this is the key, and the value is this entire string. Okay, and we've got name, Venkat, email is email, gender, and gender. So now let's press F5. Let's clear the text boxes, so we don't have anything in the text boxes now. Let's click getCookie. So it should call this getCookie function, and document.cookie should give us cookie object equals and then that string. Okay, so we are splitting this string using this equal to symbol as separator. So we are splitting that equal to as separator, so we should get two strings back. And in the 0th index position we have this key, and in the first index position we have the JSON string. So we are taking that JSON string from the array, passing it to the parse method. So what is this parse method going to do? It's going to return a custom object. And if you look at that custom object, look at that, it has got email, gender, and name properties. And then on the next three lines we are using those properties, retrieving the data, and populating these three text boxes. So when I press F5, look at that, we get the data back. In our next video, we'll discuss option 2, that is using a different cookie for each key value pair that we want to store. And here is the code that we have just looked at in setCookie and getCookie functions. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.